All right, we got another project going on here. We did the door. Now we're going to paint this room. So I wanted to go over a few things that I have used over the years. And I don't quite know why other people don't use this very much. But, you know, the little painting trays, get rid of them. They're a mess. Get a bucket grid. Bucket grids, this is for a 2-gallon bucket, which is what I'll be using in here. They make them for 5-gallon buckets, and they just stick in your bucket like that, and then you put your paint in there, and then you put your roller in that. And that way you don't have to keep refilling your tray. It's just cleaner, it's easier to move around the room, and all kinds of stuff like that. The other thing is brushes. I personally like to use the Chinex, not to be confused with the China for oil-based paint. The brush cleans up better. I feel like I have more control over it, and I almost exclusively use them anymore when I'm cutting in stuff and doing paint. The brushes just seem to last longer, and like I said, they're easier to clean. The other ones are the, I guess it'd be the polyester and the nylon. I will use a nylon brush once in a while when I'm doing something that's like brushing out a little bit of a cabinet or a piece of trim or something like that. It's a very soft bristled brush. Use just a little bit of paint in the tip, but they're very soft. And when you're cutting stuff in, it's better, at least in my opinion, to have a little bit stiffer bristle so that you have more control over it. Anyway, so this is what I use almost exclusively anymore. And then if you need to tape stuff off, a lot of people use blue painter's tape. Or sometimes they'll use masking tape. I tend to use frog tape. It's the green stuff. And I just like it better. It gives me a nice crisp line if I need it. But I always have some of this. Usually on paint jobs in my career, I've always used pretty much Benjamin Moore products or PPG or Pittsburgh products. I use a lot of like the Manor Hall line. I've used a lot of Ben and Ultra Spec and things like that. However, where I live now, the closest PPG dealer is in Cleveland, and that's a little bit of a drive for me. I have looked at the various Ace Hardwares in different places because they usually carry Benjamin Moore stuff anymore, but they're not a paint store. And I'm not sure how long some of that stuff's been sitting on the shelf, and that just doesn't sit well with me. So I kind of swore I would never do this, but my closest dealer is a Sherwin-Williams dealership. So on this house, my house that we just bought, I have a few rooms to paint, and I'm going to be trying out some Sherwin-Williams paint on various things. In this bathroom, I'm going to be using the Sherwin-Williams Duration Home. We're going to see how that does in here. It's supposed to stand up to high moisture and durability. Yeah, I'm going to be painting the master bedroom too, and I got some cashmere paint for that. So I'm kind of just trying to see the different lines and how they feel, how they cover, how they flow. The walls in this house are perfectly smooth, which from where I come from out west, you hardly ever see. You'll see an imperfect smooth, and then you'll see texture. But these are just smooth walls. So we want to get something that's going to kind of lay out pretty flat as far as, you know, not a lot of stipples and imperfections within the paint job itself. So we're gonna set up here and start doing some stuff and see how it goes. Because right now, this bathroom is, if you can't tell, is blue. So we're gonna try and get rid of the blue. Okay, there you have it. I've got the whole bathroom. Oh, well, I only did the walls, but we did the walls, painted them. Got rid of the blue. I think my wife likes it. That's the important part. So now we're going to move on to the bedroom. Paint the walls in the bedroom using a different paint. This was the Sherwin-Williams Duration. First time I've ever used it. I did like it. It went on smoothly. It cut well. It did good. It did a good job. It covered real well, which I like. We're using a different Sherwin-Williams paint in the bedroom, and we'll go over that in a minute. All right, now we're getting into painting the bedroom. So we're using another Sherwin-Williams product. We're going to try Cashmere, and the color is Agreeable Gray. We'll see if it's agreeable when we get some on the wall. One of the biggest problems I see people doing when they're painting, especially with a small nap roller like this, which is what most people use even when they're not supposed to be, is not putting enough paint on the roller. It should be dip, roll, 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 dip. That's basically the pattern. So let the roller do the work. You shouldn't be trying to force the paint onto the wall. The paint should be laying onto the wall. See, I'm hardly putting any pressure on the roller. I'm letting the paint do the work, not the roller. Because when you push hard, it just smashes the mat on your roller and it doesn't work right. And then you'll pick up less paint the next time you go to get more paint on your roller. So the key is pretty much a light touch. And there you go, one painted room. Painted the walls in this one. I think it looks a little brighter for sure. This last wall over here is still drying. That's why it looks a little little model leak, I guess. So anyway, painting this room is done. Now we can make the bed. So as far as the paint is concerned, I didn't like this as much as the other one. The duration, it didn't flow as smoothly, in my opinion. I know that's what it said it's supposed to do, is be more smooth, but and it didn't cover as well, but it wasn't bad. It's not like I would never use it again. Anyway, there you go. Thanks for coming with me today. There's a bit 2 coats of paint on the bedroom and the bathroom. I hope you like the content. If you do, please like and subscribe. We've got lots of other projects coming up, and I hope to see you soon.